Hey guys, it's Scott here from AnimeBlurayUK, and today I'll be unboxing the limited edition PlayStation Vita release of Akiba's Beat, which is being brought to us into the UK via PQube. So Akiba's Beat is available for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita, but I've opted to go down for the Vita version, and here we are. So to start off with, we have the game's logo at the top, and then the usual logos, i.e. the Peggy and Game Company logo at the bottom. Got main artwork of the main character, on the left-hand side, and then we've got a bit more artwork in the middle. It looks a bit simplistic, but I guess it flows with the other limited edition releases that PQube have done in the past. And the same can be said for the spine, which is pretty much just the Akiba's Beat logo. And it's pretty weird how one side is has an art logo one way and the other side has the logo another way. Not sure if that's an intentional design or if it's a bit of a design flaw. I'm not so sure. Moving on to the back of the box, we do have sort of a bit more variety and colour in the artwork. So we've got three main characters artwork at the in the left hand side. We then have a selection of screenshots from the game, as well as a very small information about what you can expect from this limited edition version of the game, which in this case is the game with the art book. And as you can see here, it has had some slight damage during transit. It looks like it's bent in a little bit, and that's just to highlight that the packaging that PQube are using is relatively thin. So a bit like what Bandai Namco use, their packaging is a bit thin. So if it gets damaged around in transit or crushed on a shelf or whatever, then you will expect some damage on the actual cardboard box itself, which is a bit disappointing, especially when it's a limited edition release. But I guess these things happen from time to time. And also notice that this particular limited edition version is, in a sense, the EU version. So the back of the box had multiple languages. In this case, I think there was English, French, and Spanish, possibly. But I believe the game itself is only in Japanese audio with English text and English subtitles. So that's just there on the back to inform the person of what they can expect from the game's story. So with the cellophane off, I'll just give you a quick tour around the packs again. So there we are. Looking quite good. Personally, I prefer the back of the box compared to the front of the box. Some bit more vibrant colour artwork, but at the same time, I guess it goes naturally with other PQ releases. Bizarrely enough, there is like a weird mark at the top here. I'm not entirely sure what that is, which is weird because it was inside the cellophane. So I guess an issue during production, I guess. But yeah, so that's what you can expect from the outer box. And as per usual, getting into these tightly packed cardboard sleeves can be difficult, and as you can see there, is very thin. So pretty much the same as what Steins Gate Zero, Steins Gate, Galgun, and any others, BlazBlue, Central Fiction, them sort of things. So yeah, pretty much the same presentation as before. So not a lot really to talk about. Moving on, first we have the art book, which is the art book that is included with all limited edition versions. So this limited edition version of Akiba's Beat was bought from Game, but if you get the Rice Digital Neat Edition, I think it's called, which includes a plush, a bag, soundtrack CD, I believe, and some other stuff, you'll get this version of the game as well as, so you'll get the game and the art book. But this limited edition version, let's just say, is just game and art book, and as you can see, got a variety of different artwork of the different characters that are featured in the game. I like how they've done it in a way where it's introducing you to the character, big major character artwork, and then single characters of different outfits that they wear or may wear in the game, or vice versa. It's, it gives you sort of each few pages is that sole character and nobody else, which is quite a nice flow to it. And then after that, we then get a selection of all the other characters that are in this game. Obviously, there may be some spoilers in this book, so if you don't want any spoilers by now, stop watching, I guess. But I don't really want you to. Moving on, we then got more character artwork, this time relating to the bosses and the enemies that players will encounter during the game. So there's quite a lot of artwork to go through, which is, in a sense, not usually something we're accustomed to with art books. Usually only about 30-40 pages that have the main characters, and that's about it. But with PQube art books, they do usually tend to feature a variety of different artwork, be it concept drawings of characters, different outfits, and different background designs, and so forth. But yeah, it's quite a nice little art book that we have there with this limited edition version. Here we have the spacer card, which is, holds everything together inside the box. And then finally, we have the PlayStation Vita game itself. Now, you'll notice that the PS Vita game features a different artwork to that used on the front of the limited edition box. and looks a lot better, but the back of the box is pretty much exactly the same. So I guess PQube wanted to give that sort of different feeling between the standard and limited edition. But saying that, the artwork that is used on the front of the standard game, which is what we have here, is pretty much the same artwork that is on the front, but sort of zoomed in a little bit in the middle, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so yeah, let's get in this. I'm not really expecting much inside of this, you know, game case. PS Vita games nowadays just use, well, all games nowadays just tend to have basically the game inside. So yeah, hopefully this won't disappoint me on that theory either. But let's get to it. So here we have the front cover. Yeah, again, Keeper's Beat at the top, B PEGI rating and information about memory card needed at the bottom. We then have the back, which is exactly the same as the back of the limited edition box. And then on the inside, we have the cartridge itself for the PlayStation Vita game. No other leaflets or anything like that on the inside, which is to be expected. And the artwork on the front of the cartridge is the same artwork that's used on the front of the box of the standard version of the game. So yeah, that's pretty much what you can expect from the limited edition release of Akiba's Beat. So yeah, pretty much on form for a PQube release, and it's now available for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita.